Hello, everyone. My name is Zeram Zeytulayeva. Thank you, first of all, for coming here, to making some support for me. Don't judge me so much. I am just like amateur, so hope that. That lecture is going to be useful and can open your mind for new things because the organizers asked me firstly to make some workshop about my language, Crimean Tatar. But this year I wanted to check how it's going. Are you interested of this or not? So if you are interested, next year we can do some workshop for a couple of hours about our language. So my name is Zeram Zeytulayeva, and yeah, I'm from Crimea, Crimean Tatar. If somebody don't know, where is it? It's peninsula, Crimea, in between two seas, Black Sea and Azov Sea, and unfortunately it became so popular 9 years ago, and I hope that our peninsula, our region, will be known about our culture, beautiful things, not about war or occupation. So let's hope together about this and prepare ourselves in Crimean language. So yeah, this is peninsula of Crimea. And this is the flag of Crimean Tatars. This sign in yellow called stamgha. It's a common word in Turkic language. In Mongolian language, it means sign, and this sign was a sign of Crimean Khanate. It shows like identity, judgment, that equality of everything, and that blue font means peace and development. And it's really curious. We didn't do it specially, but the colors are the same exactly with Ukrainian colors. So it's once again shows that we Crimean Tatars are pro-Ukrainian people, and when Ukrainian people in Kiev, for example, do some actions about Crimea, they say about Crimean Tatars, two nations, one country, and two nations, two flags, but one country, something like this. About Crimean Tatar language, I want to say that we don't know as a Crimean Tatars our language so good. Let's say that just 20% of our nation know our language. And when I was a child, my grandmother was saying me, you need to learn that language. And logically I was like saying, why? I don't need this one anywhere. Education was in Russian, the government was Ukraine, so yeah, Russian and Ukrainian are enough. And my grandmother, unfortunately, couldn't tell anything more to me, but then, when I grew up a bit, I became to understand how important our language is, not just for Crimean Tatars, for our identity, for our nationality, for our like speciality among other nations of Ukraine or Russia. And why I became to understand it, because I went to Turkey for study, and I got that special thing that if I knew in good way, in a good level, my language, I could understand Turkish, and I wouldn't have any problem with learning Turkish. But I was learning it, let's say, from zero, because I didn't know my language. So my grandmother was right to tell me, to advise me to learn this language, but she couldn't realize that this language can help in other languages as well. And when I came to Turkey, learned Turkish, as I said, I started to search our history, our language, and especially in Turkey, I saw that such person like Ismail Gasprinski is very popular in Turkey. Yeah, in Crimea it's also a known name, and even our region, like our district, is called Ismail Bey, like in the name of Ismail Gasprinski. But in Turkey he's really popular. I asked why, and I learned that this guy was as for Crimean Tatar language as Vuk Karadzic for Serbian, as Ludovic Stur for Slovakian. He was a reformator. He was a populator of our language. But why in Turkey he is so popular? Because he had such ideology of unity in thought, unity in language, and unity in action. So I realized that Ismail Gasprinski was so amazing person, not just for Crimea. He was populator of Turkic language in all Turkic area. That's why he was saying that unity in thought, unity in language, and unity in action. And he was writing his poems, his art in common Turkic language, which was really close to Crimean Tatar language. So he had and created some newspaper. It's called tercüman, like translator. And in the tercüman, he was publishing daily life news or poems, or like normal newspaper. And as you can see, originally it was written in Arabic letters. So in this way, I learned that Crimean Tatar language was written with Arabic letters till the revolution in 1917 started in Russia. Then started a war in Russia, and many revolutionary things, let's say. So then when Turkey went to Latin alphabet, Crimean Tatars also decided to do this, and this This one is like current one. Before, when the revolution of alphabet was happened, it was a bit different. For example, where is it? No, there is no such letter. It was like a letter of softening, like let's say, because normally in a Crimean Tatar we don't have U, I, and but by our grammar we need to deal in the rules of sign harmonism. It means if letter A goes on the in the beginning of letter, that A, not E, needs to go in the other parts of letter. And without that U and we can exist, and when we speak, but when we use such alphabet, we need to write according to rules. But you know, I can notice that this alphabet is pretty similar with Turkish, and it's good that we can use it. But Crimean Tatar language is Turkic language, and Turkish is also Turkish language. When we use this one, for me especially, it reminds like Turkish. It's like kind of assimilation of our language. So I'm not like pro Latin alphabet person in our language. That's why when Bolsheviks started to be have effect in Russia and USSR, they decided to have all language in Cyrillic. So from 13th of 20th century, we use this alphabet. And for example, this one is J. It means like just as one letter. And as I said, when we use Latin alphabet, it seems like it's Turkish. But when we use Cyrillic alphabet, it means, and immediately you can see that it's not Turkish, it's something different, but Turkic language. So I'm really supporting this alphabet. But all, let's say, all our materials on all our books are in both ones, like in Serbian, so we don't have any problem with both. But I'm personally supporting this one. So yeah. Let's go back to Ismail Gasprinski and Turkey, why they like it and why they like this unity. Because of Turkic language and because of Turkic ideology. Later, a bit soon, I'll show you the map of all Turkic language, and you can understand why Ismail Gasprinski was so had so big ideology of unity of Turkic people. And why from Crimea? Because Turkic language are dividing of two various ways: Oguz language and Kipchak. Oguz group. To Oguz group belong Turkish, Azerbaijan language, Turkmenistan, and Gagauz. And Kipchak has Kazakh, Uzbekistan, what else? Kyrgyzstan, Kazan Tatar, almost whole Asia, Turkic Asia, and it's quite normal when the language is quite similar, but people of, for example, Azerbaijan can't good, in best way, understand people from Kazakhstan because there are a lot of differences. It's like in a Slavic language as well. Like in Slavic, you know, there are also two ways, like church language and normal daily life language. So in group of church language, Bulgarian, Russian, Serbian, Croatian, but in the group of daily life, Ukrainian, Polish, Slovak, Czech, Belarusian. So when Polish people speak, like heard, let's say Serbian, they can understand something, but not so much. The same with Oguz and Kipchak, but Crimean Tatars, it's a mix of both language. So we can communicate and can understand Kazakh as much as Turkish. So it's if my grandmother in my childhood said me this fact, I could be more motivated to learn my language. But I understand this just when I was 20, maybe years old. It's quite late, but not so late to not develop myself in this way. So yeah, as a fact, in Crimea we have three main dialects. Normally we have something like 14, but main dialects are three. It's Yalıboy, Southern Dialects, which more Oguz, which more similar with Turkish. Northern dialect calls Nogay. It's more Kipchak. It's almost the same with Kyrgyz language. And Orta Yolak, central dialect, it's a mix, like mix of mix. So now we have like our official language as a central dialect. So it's once again shows that Crimean Tatar language and especially Orta Yolak dialect is a mix of two, Oguz and Kipchaks. About Crimea telling, we need to notice that not just Crimean Tatars speak in Turkic language. This is a map of Ukraine, and why not just Crimea, because we have Gagauz as well as a Turkic nation in Ukraine. So yeah, it's shown here, and. In Crimea, we have three original nations, not Russians, not Ukrainian. They are like just our guests, let's say. But originally, we are mix of all nations, which was coming to Crimea from centuries. So that's why. We have, let's say, as a race, we have various races. We have blondes, we have not black people, but as Persian people. We have Asians as well. So, for example, that Nogay, what I say, they are Asians. They are normal. But we are all Crimean Tatars. It shows our mix as in like civilization and nation as well. So you can imagine that. How beautiful is this? How amazing our culture, because we have as language mix of language, and as a nation also mix of nation, and. Also in Crimea, we have another nations which also speak in Turkic language. And Crimean Tatars, okay, we are like, as usual, Turkic people speak in Turkic language and are Muslims. Karaitis, it's like Karaims, okay? We call Karaims. They are like us. They have everything like that. They are Turkic people, but their religion is Judaism. And we have Krimchaks, special Crimean Jewish. But unfortunately, after Second World War, they are almost died, let's say. So also, we speak in the common language in Crimean Tatar. So in Crimea, every time, even after Russia took it 2 centuries ago, Crimean Tatar language was common language. So this is the area of Turkic nations. So you can see this Oguz, Kipchak. This Kipchak can divide also to Chuvash and Siberian, but also Kipchak. So after I searched this everything, I realized that I can understand so huge area without learning their language, just knowing my language. It's amazing, really amazing. Like Gagauz, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, etc., etc. When somebody asks me how many languages I know, I can't say exactly what I know and what I understand, because I can understand other Turkic people as well, and there are a lot you see. And another fact that as Muslims and generally as Turkic people, we in our language use a lot of Arabic and Persian words, and throughout my language I can understand something in Arabic and Persian as well. When, for example, I went to Festival of Iranian movies, and ambassador of Iran was speaking, and he was speaking in official language, of course, like slowly, officially. I understood 70% of Persian without learning Persian. So yeah, Arabic and Persian as well. So to mix of our language and to mix of our culture, we can add this one as well. So I decided that probably Crimean Tatar is Turkic Esperanto. How I was learning Slovakian, and my lecturer of Slovakian said that Slovakian language is Esperanto of Slavic language. When you know this one, you can understand a bit from other language as well, Slavic language. Yes, this one is also Esperanto. So if you want to learn some Turkic language, I advise you to have a look of our language as well. And that's why, I'm a bit lazy. So after learning Slovakian, I decided to learn Esperanto to have a let's say, start for Latin language. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to learn the Latin language from throughout Esperanto, and it's a good opportunity to learn Turkic language from Crimean Tatar. So yeah, as a conclusion, I want to say, want to go to Crimea, prepare yourself. It's normally nowadays means like, if you are decided, if you are brave so much to go to Crimea, to occupied, to war area, prepare yourself. But I hope, and now I mean that if you want to go Crimea, prepare yourself. Just like learn some words in our language, and if after you come to Crimea, no so many people can understand you maybe, but they will be really appreciate that you know words from our language. And as an example, I want to say about my Ukrainian friend. She said me once, since you are Crimean and the war is one day is going to end, and as we can see that whole the world supports Ukraine, and Crimea is going to be again in the right place in Ukraine, and Ukraine is going to give the rights of autonomy, let's say, to Crimean Tatars in Crimea. So she said, I wanted to learn your language, to come there and speak in right place, in right language, not Russian or Ukrainian, in the right language, because to understand all city's name, all rivers name, I don't know, everything, you need to know this. And when somebody asks me, do I believe that the occupation of Crimea is going to end, I say yeah. But believing is not enough. You need to do something, be in action as my friend. So, so this friend, the only one who, for me, believes in let's say, the occupation of Crimea. Yeah. So thank you very much for attention. If you have some questions, let's talk. Okay. Did the annexation to Russia change the language policy in relation to Crimean Tatar? How? Oh yeah, good question. Yes, in 9 years ago, Russia, to show that Russia is really, really open for such things, they said, and they in the constitution wrote, in the Crimean constitution wrote that there are three official language: Russian, Ukrainian, and Crimean Tatar. But if you want to do something, to ask something in official place in Crimea, in Crimean Tatar, you can't do this because no one cares about this. Like, if everyone knows Russian, they say, why? No need for another language. So yeah, it's just on the paper. But in the mind of Crimean Tatars, 9 years ago, the annexation of Crimea made some difference. Especially younger generations understood that the only thing which is divide us of other people in Crimea is our language. So we need to know this, and they more, let's say, not completely started to learn our language and try to speak at least in this language. Thank you. Can you say something in Crimean Tatar? What? Okay, let me introduce myself. Benim adım Zeram, soyadım Zeytulayeva, Kırım'dan geldim, Kırım benim vatanım, sizni sevim, siz pek yaxşı dostlarımız, siz benim için yanı insanlar, yanı adamlar ve sizinle tanış olmaya ve laf etmeye pek memnunum. I don't understand you. Yeah, I don't know you understand or not, but yeah, I said that you are my friends, new friends, and it's really good to see you here, and I'm really glad to introduce my culture and language here. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the dialect map is from 1916. All the three dialects still spoken. Yes, as I said, like we have even 14 dialects, but in small villages, etc. But the three dialects are spoken even after deportation and mixation of us in Uzbekistan and Siberia, the three dialects are existing. Yeah. Okay. Another one. Can you recommend some materials for learning Crimean Tatar? One mark. Crimean Tatar in English is written without this device. Yes, it's really important because in Slavic language it's written just like as one word, Krimsko-Tatarski. Why without this device? Because if you write with device, it means like Crimean and Tatar. It means Tatars are not, Tatars are just part of Crimea, but when you write in one word, Krimsko-Tatarski, it means all Crimea is Crimean Tatars. So yeah, can you recommend some materials for learning Crimean Tatar? To be honest, no. Because I know some girl who has online courses, who has some materials, but I'm not sure that she has it written, or to be honest, even in Google Translate, there is no such option to use Crimean Tatar. When I do some translation to this to make my job easier, I just translate to Azerbaijan language and then correct to Crimean Tatar. Because I think Azerbaijani language is the most similar to our. But there are some lessons maybe for beginners in YouTube, but it's also in Russian. So maybe if you are interested, next year we can do some crash course of Crimean Tatar, and on using this, through this crash course, maybe we can develop some lessons in internet. But stay in touch with me. Maybe I can find something and send to you. In that definition in our schedule, we have my Facebook, so you can add me on Facebook and we can stay in touch. Okay, is Crimean Tatar considered an endangered language? Yes, because as I said, like the population of Crimea, 2 millions, and we just like the 10% of that population, and from the 10%, just let's say 20% can speak this language. So develop and learn our language is our mission to just exist. Yeah, thank you. In general, which language is most commonly, where is it? In general, which language is most commonly spoken at home by Crimean Tatars, Crimean Tatar, Russian, Ukrainian? Yeah, it's a good question. it's a shame, but yeah, we speak Russian in our family at home. That's why I mentioned that my grandmother was saying every time to me that to all of us that we need to learn our language. Yeah, we know Ukrainian as an official language. We speak it. Even let's say that. Russian, okay, it's like native. I know Ukrainian better than Crimean Tatar because with Ukrainian I'm in touch from 5 years ago, when I was 5 years old, but with Crimean Tatar deeply, I'm in touch, let's say, for last 15 maybe 17 years. So yeah. But if I have my own family with my children, I'm going to speak with it just in Crimean Tatar. Yeah. How many active speakers are there today of Crimean Tatar? I mentioned this, just like maybe 20% of Crimean Tatars know in good way, in good level, that language. Mostly, people can understand, but not speak. For example, my father can speak and understand. My mother just can understand. And we just Russian. As I said, I developed myself in my language, with myself, with effort of mine. Yeah. What? 20 or 20,000? No, 20% of, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there materials online, YouTube channels, music? Music, yes. Super. In music, dances, we are in good position, so you can find. We just write Crimean Tatar music. Super. But as I said about learning canals, not so much. Yeah. Also, before annexation of Crimea, we had our channel, normal channel, ATR, it calls, you can write somewhere, and for children as well, it calls Lale. Then it moved to Kiev, and now it's not so active, but you can find some materials of like in archive. So yeah, this one. YouTube channels. Also, but also not so developed, unfortunately. Are there many Slavic borrowings from Russian, Ukrainian in Crimean Tatar? Can you give some example? Yeah, for sure. Because let's say that my father, it's like typical Homo Sovieticus. Yes, and without that borrowings, we can't exist. And you know about story of learning my language. Okay, it was myself, but I was searching in the same time which nation is the most similar to us. And before I was thinking it's Turkey and Turkish people, but when I went there, I realized that no, they don't have past of Soviet regime. They don't have Slavic neighbors, so they're just Turkish and Muslim. But we as the Tatars are Muslim, Turkic, Slavic as well. Like mentality of Slavic, we have more than Turkic maybe. And then I realized that maybe some Caucasian nations are closer to us. And then I realized that not so much, because they're more radical. We are really, really loyal, democratic, in religion as well. We are not so conservative, not radical. And then I decided that maybe Bosnians. And I was right. I need to sort this topic, maybe start a PhD one day, because when I go to Bosnia, it's really like I feel like in Crimea there. Because we are Turkic nation with impact of Slavic, and they are Slavic with Turkic impact. So in this case, we have so much similarity, and when I speak Bosnian with them, when I don't know some word, I say in my language and they understand me. And if they learn my language, it's going to be the same. They can say something in Slavic and we can understand them. So yeah, examples, a lot. For example, mashina, we don't say like araba anymore. We say mashina. It means what? Samochod, auto. Yes, car. Or the most comic one is we use Russian words in the way of Tatar. Yeah. For example. For example, in Ankara, when I was studying, there was like diaspora of Crimean Tatars. We were going there, and Crimean Tatars of Turkey, let's say, they were coming and were so angry to us that we are speaking Russian. And then I said, okay, why do you speak Turkish, not our language? They said, but we are in Turkey, something like that. Then I said, like, okay, if you translate me something from Tatar now, I'll switch to Turkish to you. But let's say, and I said, like, men, Shisti, Kershinsky, Nohayman. Two of that words were Russian, but in the way of Tatar, and he couldn't translate from it. It's normal. Turkish people don't know Russian, so he said like, I don't know our language so much. So I said, please go, keep calm. Yes, and for example, once I asked my friend, how is it in Tatar language jail? He said, apshane. I said, no. He said, maybe some different version there is. I said, yes, it's turme, like Russian word, but in the way of Tatar. Yeah, it was so comic. Yeah, so we use a lot of borrowings from Russian. Yeah, how common is it for people of Russian or of Ukrainian ethnicity in Crimea to learn Crimean Tatar? Did you find a different attitude in people born in Crimea? In Crimea, because of politics, everything, and because of population, that's majority of population Russians, they don't want to learn nothing, and they see us as an enemy. I don't know why. Actually, I know, but okay, it's politics, yeah. But about Ukrainians, yeah. As I said, my friend from Lviv, she started to learn with me this language, and now, especially like after annexation, and especially from last year, Ukrainians support and try to learn at least the city names that something like common in Crimea, to understand our position, to understand our culture, because without this, Ukraine can't exist without Crimea, but Crimea can't exist without Crimean Tatars. So Ukrainians need to understand us. Yeah. Where do you live today, and do you teach Crimean Tatar or any other language? No, I don't teach any language, but that my friend, when she asked, I said, okay, let's try, because organizers of Polyglot Gathering proposed me to have such workshop of Crimean Tatar, and let's see if I can teach you this year. Then it means I can teach another people. So let's see next year how it's going to be. And I'm journalist normally, so I'm not teacher. And where I'm living, I live in Warsaw. Yeah, it's a long story. Till I was 17, I was living in Eupatoria, its current name. In Tatar language, it's Kezlev, on the west of Crimea. Then I went for my bachelor course to Ankara. Stayed there for 7 years, and 9 years ago I came to Warsaw to study master, completed, and I'm really satisfied of living here. Like I can travel even to Crimea, but come back as my home, just to Warsaw. Thank you. Are there schools where Crimean Tatars is used as the language of introduction? Yes. Also, just in a paper, it's they're existing. Before maybe in 19th, let's say, there wasn't any school of Crimean Tatars, and we had just like a course of Crimean Tatar language in our school. Our parents needed to write some petition for this, etc., etc. But it's also it wasn't so popular, and if even parent wants and to write petition, the government, let's say, director of school, they weren't allowed to learn this. They were saying that there are not enough people to learn this, so we can't teach just one person. But then, 20 years ago, the Crimean schools are opened. And normally the education had to be in Crimean Tatar, but there are no materials to teach mathematics, astronomy, etc., etc. in Crimean Tatar. That's why we had just like I'm the oh gosh, in Polish, absolvent. What is it? Okay, like I complete the school of Crimean Tatar, but our education language was Russian. We had Ukrainian language twice a week, and literature, and the same Tatar. We had twice in a week Tatar language and literature. So is it enough? For people who are motivated, yes, but for children who don't want to learn anything, just want to enjoy, it's not enough. So I didn't know Crimean Tatar even after completing the course of such school. Are there any festivals, conferences, etc. of Crimean Tatar community and friends? Festivals, yeah. Because, as usual, for example, even during Soviet time, it wasn't so prohibited, let's say, to have music, to have dances, etc., etc. The most popular example is Ukrainians, yeah. In Russian Empire and during Soviet time, Ukrainians were known just like Gopak, just as music, etc., etc. Not as nation, not as let's say people who has different language. The same with us. Like, yeah, Our music, our dances, the existing festivals, but just in that level, not developing anymore. About conferences, not so much. But in Ukraine, last year's Kiev officially do some big conferences with all the world about Crimean platform, something like this. They try to decide what to do with Crimea, but it's too early, I think. Yes, thank you. How many genders are there in the Crimean Tatar language? No genders. As in normal Turkic language, no genders. We to not decide gender, we need to say, for example, friend, girlfriend, or boyfriend. Yeah, like dost, kız dostum veya kardeşim. It's like sibling, kız kardeşim veya erkek kardeşim. Esperanto Inter-Slavic use Latin alphabet. How does the concept of Turkic Esperanto corresponds with the preference of Cyrillic alphabet in Crimean Tatars? I mentioned this my presentation. Me personally prefer. We have 1 minute, so we prefer. Me prefer Cyrillic one to not assimilate with Turkish language, but mostly Crimean Tatars now switched to Latin alphabet. And 2 years ago, Ukraine officially announced that Crimean Tatar language is in alphabet of Latin. Other Turkic peoples' language in Europe. Where is it? Okay, two questions. Yeah. No. Esperanto Inter-Slavic. Where is it? Okay. Are there any Tatar plates similar to Bosnian plates? Oh. Sarma, the common one, the most common one, like sarma. But it's not just Tatar, Crimean or Balkanic. It's also Greek, Caucasus, Turkish, sarma maybe. Other Turkic people language in Europe, Moldova, Romania, Bulgaria, apart from Turkey, Turkish. Yeah, you could see the Gagauz. They in Moldova. Bulgarian. In Bulgaria and Romania, they're Tatars. It's part of our people. They were going after Russia came, after Crimean War started, etc., etc. So, yeah, our diaspora, we have the biggest one in Turkey, then in Romania, and the third one in Bulgaria. Thank you very much.